Hi everybody, it's John back with another model inbox review. Today we're looking at a Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-25 Foxbat A. An aircraft which, if a lot of people know anything about MiGs, they'll know what sort of impression this aircraft made on the aviation world in the very late 1960s and 1970s, when this aircraft was thought to be something that it just clearly wasn't. That's quite a nice image of a Foxbat RBS, which is the last development of the Foxbat fighter before the aircraft was replaced by the MiG-31 Foxhound. I can't build this particular aircraft from the kit that I've got for a reason, although it's not because I couldn't build it. Well, I suppose I could build it without weapons, and I'll explain to you why there's an issue with the weapons fit on this particular kit that I've got. I just want to show you another image before we go into the boxing history, and this is another option that I could possibly build. This is actually Viktor Belenko's Mikoyan MiG-25 Foxbat that he defected from the Soviet Union in 1960 to an airport in Tokyo. I can't remember which airport it was, but he defected to Tokyo and basically gave the Western world a glimpse of the MiG-25 Foxbat in its heyday, when the aircraft was still very, very secret, and the Russians were actually very, very, very upset, as you can imagine, that this aircraft was able to be inspected by Western officials. But that was Viktor Belenko's aircraft. If you wanted to build Viktor Belenko's aircraft, the aircraft is basically overall grey, just like most of the other MiG-25s. And its pennant number, which is seen directly under the cockpit canopy there, is actually a blue 31. It's not a red 31, it's a blue 31. And that's how you can model Viktor Belenko's aircraft. But as you can see, when the aircraft landed, there are no weapons on the pylons whatsoever. He actually defected to Tokyo in this aircraft without any weapons on the aircraft whatsoever, and that might be a pretty valid option for me, and I'll explain why that could be the case when we get into it. The kit I'm actually doing an inbox review on is an AFV Club 1/100th scale Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-25 Foxbat A. But the image I'm going to show you first is where the AFV Club kit's origins come from, because it's not an AFV Club kit. This is actually a Sunny model which was released in 1977. And I don't know much about the original Sunny company, Sunny as a model company, but they seemed to disappear off the world's market in about 1980. 1982 maybe at the latest. I think some of the kits were still available in 1980, but they very quickly vanished as soon as the 80s decade hit. So that's a Sunny release, 1977. That was the original release, and in 1978, a company called Entex Industries reboxed the Sunny kit with what I consider to be quite nice and impressive artwork. I quite like the box for the Entex Industries kit, and it's quite a striking box. I actually thought it was quite a nice looking piece of marketing, but it shows the Foxbat's lines off very, very well. So that was 1978 for that release, and then Sunny re-released the Foxbat in 1979 in this boxing guide, where it's not a photograph of the aircraft. It's not even a particularly good painting of the aircraft. But it's quite a vibrant box artwork there, and the aircraft is just shown coming into land, or maybe taking off. I'm not quite sure. The weapons fit are actually still there, so maybe it is taking off. I'm not sure. But that's the 79 release from Sunny. Now in 1989, Revell managed to get hold of this mould, and once again Revell, I don't know what it is, but Revell seem to have their hands in lots of different companies' pies, don't they? And the Sunny release of this kit was no exception, and they released this kit in 1989, and it's a 1/100th scale Foxbat. Now Revell did release quite a number of 1/100th scale models, from different companies, but I don't think they've ever moulded a 1/100 scale aircraft on their own. I always think they're all re-released other companies' boxings, which is a bit of a shame. It'd be quite nice to see what Revell would do with a 1/100 scale aircraft. That's 1989's Revell release, and then in 1989 also a company called Rosskopf, which I believe are either a Ukrainian or a Soviet Union model company, actually got hold of the Sunny mould as well. And this is actually a carbon copy of what you get in the box that I've got here from AFV Club, except for the fact that the decals are rearranged in a slightly different way. But they are the same decals nonetheless. And they're quite interesting decals. I'll talk to you about the decals when we get onto them in a minute. But the Rosskopf image there, the model made up, is quite nice because I think it shows the quality of the model that you get. Bearing in mind that this is 1/100 scale and not 1/72nd, the model is much smaller than a 72nd scale kit, but it's actually, because it's of a Foxbat, it's still quite a sizable plane in model form. 1989, that was the Rosskopf release. Now in 2007, the AFV Club from Taiwan managed to get hold of this mould and they released this kit in 2007. This is actually the boxing that I've got of the MiG-25 that I'll be doing the inbox review of. That's a 2007 release. And then in 2010, they rehashed the box artwork. It's the same artwork, but they took a lot of the blue colour out of it. And I think it does sort of render the Foxbat's outline and gives you a much clearer idea of what the aircraft looks like. And it's quite a rugged and very warlike looking aircraft. I think it was a very strong looking aeroplane, and it did evoke quite a lot of fear into the aviation industry when it came about. So that's 2010's AFV Club Edition release in that year, and that was the last release of boxing. But I think you can still get hold of this kit in this box form on the shelves in various websites up and down the UK, where they'll probably order most of them in, because I think this kit has to be imported from Taiwan. Now then, just leave you a nice image there of a Foxbat RBS. This again was the last variant of the Foxbat seeing service in the Soviet Union's National Defense Air Force. The aircraft, of course, has been sold export to lots of other countries all around the world. Some of them are still using the aircraft today, but the last known combat scenario for the MiG-25 was during the second Gulf War, where the Afghan Air Force, sorry, not the Afghan, the Iraqi Air Force still had quite a lot of MiG-25s for use at the time. So that was a MiG-25. I'll just pull your camera image down and show you this kit. There we go. Because it's quite a nice model. Must admit it is quite a good kit. I'm trying to get this to sit nice for you. That should do it. That's the box artwork. As you can see my hand in front, it's quite a large box. Even though the kit's 1/100 scale, it's still quite a large box. On all the images of the box, it's just a reiteration of the original artwork. I quite like the artwork on this kit. It's quite nice. And there you've got the website for Hobby Fan Trading Company. Just for interest's sake, I actually did a video of AFV Club as a company overview video. And the company that owns AFV Club, that's Hobby Fan Trading Company, are quite an interesting company indeed. They don't just build plastic model kits, they have their hands in quite a number of other things as well. And it's quite an interesting video if you haven't looked it up. We'll get the parts and stuff out here. That's everything out. And we'll just go through what I normally do in the usual fashion. Presto. First of all, the instruction leaflet. The instruction leaflet is pretty basic and pretty crude, I'll be honest with you. It's an A4 sheet of paper, and yeah, it's just a basic pictorial image of what you do and what parts look like and how they go together, which is what you want from a plan, really, isn't it? The fuselage on the MiG-25, this is quite funny because I've built the Hasegawa MiG-25 and the Zhengdefu MiG-25 before in the past, and they both go together very similarly to this, in that the fuselage itself is assembled in two completely different sections, the nose section and the main fuselage housing the engines and the rest of the airframe, the wings and the tail fins, tail planes and everything. It all goes into the rear section here. And they're quite beefy exhaust pipes and jet pipes on the MiG-25. It was a pretty serious piece of kit. But basically you can see how the instructions go together. You've got the fuselage half forward section there. Quite important to weight this kit, and if you build any MiG-25 in any scale, I think it would be quite important to put some serious weight in this kit. I'll probably be putting a couple of bits of lead shot in here. There's plenty of room. Cockpit canopy and the pitot tube goes on the section 3, and then you've got the fuselage halves that the two main section of fuselage halves there that marry up. These two parts here are actually splitter plates for the inside. They form the inside sections to the air intakes, but there's no turbofan parts inside, obviously, although it's a shame that there aren't, because there's probably a big enough aperture there for you to see them. And then in the next section you're basically putting the airframe together and the jet pipes, tail pipes and everything, and then in the next section it's the airframe, rudders, the wings, and then the lower strakes or lower stabilizer fins and the tailplane. And then the last two sections you're basically putting the undercarriage together and the armaments fit. And I've got an issue with the armaments fit on this particular kit, but we'll get into that in a minute. The last section of build on this is to do with the paint plan. You've got quite a nice paint plan there of the decal locations and the colours and how they all go together, which is quite nice. That seems to go together quite well. And you can see, where everything goes, where the colours are and everything. And at the top here, you've got a nice colour call out there with 4 or 5, actually it's 6 different companies' paints to choose from. And the Humbrol range there, the colours are there, quite easily laid out. The only colour that's not featured in the Humbrol range is actually burnt iron, but it's quite easy to make burnt iron. It's just a mixture 4:1 of gunmetal and copper to produce a sort of a fiery, burnt sort of tone of gunmetal, and it's quite effective. But that's the instruction leaflet, quite easy to follow. The decals on this kit are quite interesting. They are a carbon copy of what you got in the Sunny kit and the Roscoff kit, as I showed earlier in the pictures, but they're laid out differently, and I think they're slightly better quality decals as well, which is quite nice. And then on the bottom here, you've got something which is quite interesting because it's marked AFV Club, and then you've got the model serial number, which is AF10001 MiG-25, printed in Taiwan, and then underneath there you can clearly see it says printed in Taiwan 2004. But according to ScaleMates and quite a number of other company websites that I viewed on, this kit was released in 2007. But the decals definitely say 2004. They're AFV printed decals, so I'm wondering whether this kit was released in the Far East, in Taiwan and for the Far East market, in maybe 2004, 2005 sort of years, and it didn't reach the western end of the world until 2007, I'm not sure. But that's the decals. The parts on this kit are really nice. I'm going to show you the cockpit canopy first, because this is really interesting. The canopy, as you can see, is really crystal clear, and the moulding on it and the lines for the canopy frame they're really nicely rendered, and I'm very impressed with that. It is quite small, yes I know, but to be honest with you, that's a really nice piece of plastic. I like the look of that. So that I'm quite pleased with that. The transparency looks to be quite good. Then I'm going to show you the first sprue. First impressions of the plastic in this kit is that it's actually, although it's not AFV Club, it's Sunny. Sunny must have made a damn good model, because the actual raised panel lines, and yeah, I know the raised panel lines, but they are very, very finely printed or moulded on this kit. And I don't think they're going to pose too much of a problem unless you really seriously want to sand everything down and rescribe everything. But the actual detail on this kit, on this kit's parts rather, are very, very nice indeed. The wings there You can see the fine detail, the fine panel lines. They're very, very delicate lines. Is probably the best way I would put it. But they're also very crisply moulded. There's no waxiness about this kit at all. It's really crisp and clear and fine, and it's sharp. And the parts look really, really good. There's some detail there on several bits here and there. I think they're undercarriage struts. Even the detail on the jet pipes there, you can see the lines on the jet pipes. Really nice. Very impressed with that. And lastly, the undercarriage wheels. You know, this is 1/100 scale. This isn't 72nd. This is 1/100. And the detail on those wheels, they're very, very true to life. I've actually seen a MiG-25 in real life in Germany. It was one of the Foxbats that were sort of ended up in Luftwaffe service, being handed over when the unification of Germany happened, and the East German Air Force merged with the West German Air Force, and they ended up with a merged Luftwaffe. And one of the aircraft I saw at one air base, because when you have a past like mine, which involves being married to somebody whose father was quite high up in the army, and also involved with the ATC for 16, 17 years, you ended up getting access to a lot of different stuff, which most ordinary people probably wouldn't have. The lower fuselage half there, again, that's quite nicely and finely crafted. Quite like the look of that. And the upper surface, that's quite nicely moulded as well. The panel lines on this kit are very delicate, and I don't think they're going to be an issue whatsoever. Very impressed with that. The lower stabilizer fins, they're quite nicely moulded as well. They look quite good. And also I just want to show you the pylons, because the pylons on this kit, they're really nicely moulded too. You can see them. Very, very nice indeed. And then we come to the problem that I have with this kit. The Foxbat was equipped with 4 quite seriously large air-to-air missiles. In actual fact, when they entered service as part of the weapons fit for the MiG-25, these weapons were the largest air-to-air weapons in the world. Can't remember what they were called, but I've got a feeling there might have been atolls. Maybe something else, I can't remember. But I've only got 3 on this sprue. As you can see, there's 1 missing. Now this bag was sealed when I opened to check the parts yesterday, and that missile was missing right from the start. So AFV Club, I'm not impressed. But that might be a good enough reason for me to build Victor Belenko's defecting MiG-25, because I don't need the missiles for that kit. The rocket rails were there, but the armaments fit wasn't apparent on the aircraft when he appeared in Tokyo in the aircraft, which it's quite handy, seeing I haven't got all of them. So that's all the parts. That's the inbox review finished. I just want to go over the Gumpf and go through the Gumpf with you. Just leave you that image there. It's quite a nice image there of the MiG-25. And then we'll just go through the Gumpf and get this all cleared for you. Right. The model we're actually doing an inbox review on is the AFV Club Mikoyan Gurevich MiG-25 Foxbat A. Its release date on this particular kit from AFV Club was 2007, but the mould is based on a Sunny release from 1977. Sorry. The serial number of the kit from AFV Club is AF10001, and the aircraft is moulded in 1/100th scale. There are decals for 1 Foxbat, Red 78, which was a Foxbat RB in Soviet Air Force Service Home Defense 1978. It was one of the first RB variants to enter service. And 78 is definitely an RB variant. It's not an RBS and it's not Foxbat A, which is quite interesting. There are 37 parts on 2 dark green-grey plastic sprues and 1 part on a clear plastic sprue, producing 38 parts in total. The dimensions of this kit, although it's in 1/100th scale, it's still quite a big kit because the Foxbat is a seriously large aeroplane. The plane's length is about 7.5 inches long. It should have a span of about 5 inches, and it should stand on its undercarriage about 2.5 inches high. Now the options and costs. This is quite interesting. The following options only cover 1/100th scale and smaller, but MiG-25 kits are available in 1/72nd scale and 1/48th scale too, but these are not featured in this review. Now, the smallest scale you can get this kit in is in 1/700 scale from a company called Tsukuda Hobby, spelt TSUKUDA. And the model comes in a USSR Air Force Hot Jet Series pack comprising a Sukhoi Su-7 Fitter C, an Su-15 Flagon A, a MiG-23 Flogger B, and a MiG-25 Foxbat A. Haven't got any pricings available on this, but I would assume it would be quite a collectible kit. I've never seen one ever. Never seen one ever in the history of me looking for anything or building anything. You can also get this kit available in 1/300 scale from a company called Heroics and Ross, and they build a twin pack kit in white metal of a Foxbat A MiG-25. Again, I've got no pricings available on either of those two kits, sorry about that. In 1/144 scale, there are a number of standalone kits that have also been reboxed by other companies. The standalone kits are the Academy MiG-25, which retails about £6 to £12, the Crown MiG-25 Foxbat A, which retails for about £7 to £11, the Hobbycraft MiG-25 Foxbat, which is about £4 to £5, LS do a MiG-25 Foxbat, which retails for anything from £3 to £12.50. SMARS, which is quite a rare offering, do a MiG-25. Again, no pricings available on that. And Trumpeter build a MiG-25 Foxbat A, which I've seen sell for between £5 and £7, but usually it goes for about £12. These kits have been reboxed as well. Academy Minicraft do a Foxbat A MiG-25, which is a reboxed Academy kit. That kit retails for about £4 to £9. Ace Hobby Kits do a MiG-25 Foxbat A, which is a reboxed Hobbycraft kit, £4 to £15 for that one. AMT ERTL do a MiG-25, which is a reboxed LS kit, retails about £6 to £7. Aoshima build a MiG-25 Foxbat, which is a reboxed Hobbycraft kit. No pricings available on that. RI build a MiG-25 Foxbat, which is a reboxed LS kit. That retails for, sorry, got no pricings on that either. Idea build a MiG-25, which is a reboxed Hobbycraft kit. No prices on that. Minicraft Model Kits build a MiG-25 Foxbat A, which is a reboxed Crown kit. Again, no pricings available on that. And Mini Hobby Models do a MiG-25 Foxbat A, which is a reboxed Trumpeter kit, for about £3.50 to £13. I think Mini Hobby Models is actually another agent outlet for Trumpeter. Revell also build a MiG-25 Foxbat A, which is a reboxed Crown kit, for £3.50 to £17. And WSN build a MiG-25 Foxbat A, which is a reboxed Trumpeter kit. Again, I've got no pricings available on that. Now, in 1/100 scale, the only standalone kit is the Sunny MiG-25 Foxbat. Again, I've got no pricings available on that. AFV Club does a MiG-25 Foxbat, which is a reboxed Sunny kit, for about £8 to £17. Entex Industries build a MiG-25 Foxbat, which is a reboxed Sunny kit. No pricings on that. Revell do the MiG-25 Foxbat, which is a reboxed Sunny kit, for about £5 to £12. And Roskopf do a MiG-25 Foxbat, which is the reboxed Sunny kit. Again, no pricings available on that. Now then, conclusions. AFV Club have a reputation for making kits of outstanding quality, but this kit is not an AFV Club mould. It's a Sunny mould, but that aside, it looks to be very good quality and so should make for a very rewarding build. I have got a number of 1/100 scale kits in my stash, and they are a tad smaller than most kits we build in general. However, the Foxbat is a seriously big plane, being 9 foot longer than a Lancaster bomber and possessing the wingspan of a Panavia Tornado with its wings fully spread forward. It is still going to be a build, it's still going to build into a very large, big kit, even in 1/100 scale, and with its fine raised panel lines and a decal sheet which offers no end of different Foxbats to build, with the red and blue numbers printed on it. The 1960 Tokyo Defector Victor Belenko's plane was Blue 31. I would recommend this kit, as it's a little unusual and still big enough to render a nice looking kit. Now then, I must stress that AFV Club as a company tends to be quite an expensive option to buy. But I have seen a comment quite recently uploaded on my AFV Club company overview video stating that you can get quite a lot of AFV Club model kits from Far Eastern cited websites and sales sites. So it might be worth checking some of those out if you're after an AFV Club kit. And the MiG-25 I would strongly recommend. It does look very nice. Anyway, I hope this video has been of some use. I hope all your modelling projects are running very smooth, and to all those guys and girls who've tuned in to my video, tuned into my channel, thanks. And I'm very appreciative of all the new subbers that have come on. There's been quite a number of you recently. I'm very appreciative of that, and thanks for all you older hands, all the comments, the encouragement, the well-beings, everything. I'm really very, very appreciative of everything that everyone's going at the moment. So anyway, thanks for tuning into this video. I'll catch you for the next one, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.